Welcome once again, first years, in a new part of your grammar which is included in your syllabus, that is the information transfer. In the information transfer, what you have to do is that in the examination, it may come up in your question paper. So where they will give you options. One is either transfer the information from verbal to non-verbal or from non-verbal to verbal. So let me explain what is verbal and non-verbal. Information being divided into two categories. One is verbal, the another one is non-verbal. Here in verbal, normally verbal means what we can speak, what we can write it down. That verbal actually has the words, sentences, paras, all. Paras can transform into passages. If we write down more than 2 to 3 paras, that can count as the passage. So here paras, passages and sentences can count into your verbal. Whereas in non-verbal, you have different diagrams. One is pie diagram, the other is bar graph, the next is tree diagram, table. One more is that we have the flow chart. That is flow chart. That will also be counted. So these are all together comes under your non-verbal information transfer. And in the examination, they will definitely give you options, either this one from verbal to non-verbal or from non-verbal to verbal. I think you have already done this in your 10th standard. When in English and I think in other subjects also you must have done this one, particularly pie diagrams, bar diagrams you have studied, and even the tables, how to study the tables and all. So I am giving you here one question in two formats. One is verbal and the other is non-verbal. Okay, so first we will start with the non-verbal. That is, now I am introducing it to you, the bar graph. Okay, this is the bar graph. I am giving it to you, the bar graph, with a heading as cost of vegetables. You know very well that in the bar diagram, in the bar graph, we have one as x-axis and one as the y-axis. This is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. Vertical and horizontal. This is horizontal and this is your vertical. Here in this on the x-axis, they have given you few names of the months, that is 4 names of the months: January, February, March and April. Okay, these 4 months. Then on the y-axis, it is being given the numbers of per kg, rupees. It is actually the rupees. 10, 20, 30, 40 till 70 being given. And 2 bars being drawn. One is, I have drawn it in the colors to make it more easily understanding for you, or to make it convenient for you. I have drawn this one. In the examination, you can draw with the pencil itself. You can fill up one, you can leave the other one. Or you can fill up completely one, the other one can be with the lines or something, dots you can put as you wish. So 2 being given, like we have to write down what are the cost of vegetables. Which vegetables? You can find it out here by seeing that the red one is carrots and the black is the potatoes. Here representing. Carrots are represented in this color, red color, and the potatoes are representing in black color here. So now when you see the diagram, you can get an idea that in the month of January, whose rate was high? It is carrots. Their rate is more near to 20 or more than 20 rupees per kg. Whereas potatoes are lesser than that, maybe the 15 rupees. Okay, then move on to Feb. This is the way of reading this bar diagrams. This is the non-verbal one. Now in February, month of February, the carrots rate being increased to rupees 30, whereas potatoes rate been decreased to lesser, like 15 or 10 or 20, whatever it is. So here you have to check it out, you have to see, you have to get this one. Then next is, here you can see in the month of March, both of them are increasing, and in the month of April, one is increased, the other is decreased. That shows that when you read the diagram in such a way, then you can write down in the form of a paragraph. If they give you one paragraph and instruct you to transfer this paragraph into a bar diagram, then you have to check it out what you can do it on the y-axis and what you can put it on the x-axis. This is the way to represent. Then after putting all these, you have to create one key. This is called as key. One key for the diagram. This is the key where you are showing. Otherwise, how could you know that which is the carrot and which is the potatoes? It is not. They'll give you that one of the paragraph will be given and you have to convert that paragraph into the, if suppose they may ask you bar diagram, so you have to check it out in that way. If they give you the bar diagram, suppose this bar diagram being given, then you have to understand as how I read out, then you have to frame the sentences, and for that I have framed certain sentences for you to make it understand in a clear way. This bar diagram, if suppose you have to write down in a form of a text, you have to write down like this. This bar graph shows the cost of carrots and potatoes over a period of 4 months, because the question will be given like this: cost of vegetables in rupees per kg, then carrots and potatoes. Then this may be drawn and convert this bar diagram or bar graph into a paragraph. So you have to write down this type of the paragraph over a period of 4 months. Okay, which period, which 4 months? January, February, March and April. Fine. Then next is carrots were more costly than potatoes. Right, always. When you check it out, overall observation is that carrots are always the costly one when compared to the potatoes. So carrots were more costly than potatoes because you have observed this in the bar diagram. In January, now we are talking about January, carrots cost rupees 20. Here we checked it out, 20, while potatoes cost rupees 15 a kilo, because potatoes are a little bit down to 20, so we are writing it as 15. Okay, so in January we have made it clear that carrots were 20 whereas potatoes were rupees 15 per kg. Now again what we have to do, 1 month we have written. Now it is about the next month we have to write it down. Second here is in February, cost of carrots increased. Is it? Yes. Again it increased to rupees 30 here, from 20 to increased to 30. But potatoes cost fallen down. Yes, it was 20, now it was 15, now it has come to below or near to 10. Fine. It has fallen down. There is no need sometimes to write down the how many rupees you are going to write down. Only if you are mentioning it out that you have observed the bar diagram in a better way, that could be a compliment for you. Once we have written the rates, next time we have written the observation like it has, one is increased, the other is decreased. Now next sentence, we see increased rates in March. We see increased rates in March of both. Both are increased. From here potatoes increased, from here carrots increased. What we have seen, in carrots were rupees 40 and potatoes were rupees 30. Carrots were rupees 40 here, this is March, and potatoes were rupees 30. They already, carrots were always they are the costly ones, but here in February we have seen a steep downfall of the price of potatoes, whereas it got increased in the month of March. Now which month left over we have to discuss about? It is April. In April again the cost of carrots rise to rupees 50 per kg. Yes, it is rise to rupees 50 per kg. Again it is risen up, again it is increased. Whereas potatoes cost decreased to rupees 30. What happened to potatoes? They were increased in March but decreased in April. They have got again into 30. Instead of going upward, in 1 month only they have got the increase rates. Whereas again in the next month it has fallen down. If you check it out, I have written all the months observation of the bar diagram in the form of a sentences. Then lastly you can conclude by writing, thus the rates were fluctuating, or one potatoes decreasing continuously or increasing, the carrots were increasing continuously. Last sentence could be written in a concluding way. Next is here, like suppose they may give you this type of the question, only the bar graph with the key, you have to write down this sentences. If sentences in a form of a paragraph being given, you have to frame you have to draw this diagram. If the whole thing being given and written that, convert this particular paragraph into the form of convert this information into a form of a bar graph. So you have to draw the bar graph like this. In one class I have taught you both the things. One is how to draw the bar graph, the other is how to write down in the form of a sentence. So what we have done? We have done both. One is non-verbal and the other is verbal. To give you a clear picture of the paragraph, I have actually used two different colors, blue and black, so it can be easily understood and visible to you. There is no need for you to use two different color pens. You can use only one pen and write down the paragraph. I actually wanted to make you clear that how to write down these sentences. There is no need to go into the depth of a detailed description and all. Immediate facts, what you can see from the bar graph or from any of the diagram, you have to mention it in the paragraph. So I hope you have understood well. In the next class, we will go ahead with the explanation of the another non-verbal as well as verbal part of the any diagram or any of the, we can take any of this in the next class. So by the time, try to understand this, read in the reader and in the study material very clearly being given, check it out, do it by your own self, try to practice it in not only one bar graph, you have to do 2-3 bar graphs, so you can able to understand how to draw the bar graph and how to interpret the bar graph in the form of a para. So I hope you have understood well. So take care. In the next class we'll meet once again with the another explanation.